#1 automotive sales podcast. Broadcasting around the world. 100% positive mindset on making over $100K a year. You want to make more money and close more car deals while keeping a positive mindset. This is the show for you. Broadcasting around the world. This is the Automotive Architect Sales Podcast with Ron Garverick.
Well, Automotive Architect Sales Podcast. Gotta love the music blaring. My apologies. Welcome to the Automotive Architect Sales Podcast. I am your host, Ron Garverick. I just wanted to reach out to everybody and just talk about being uncomfortable. Being comfortable about being uncomfortable, right? Because a lot of people don't like being uncomfortable. They like the way things are going. They like the way things have developed in their professional life. So when somebody comes in, a new person comes in, and they change the policies and procedures, they change things that have been going on, they're not really that comfortable with it. And there's some pushback and there's some negativity going on and people talking in the back going, I don't like what's going on, blah, 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 blah. But in a few minutes, I'm going to explain why being uncomfortable can help you and benefit you in the automotive space. Now, this podcast is brought to you by Connect AI. Connect AI bridges the gap between tech tools and automotive communications. For over a decade, they've developed and continue to perfect their award-winning AI and texting platform to support retail and service operations in successfully connecting with customers at any phase of their journey. If you want to see what Connect AI can do for your dealership, reach out to them today. VinQ is also a proud sponsor of the Automotive Architect Sales Podcast. VinQ developed a modern platform that provides vehicle lifecycle management for automotive retail dealers. Dealers access VinQ with a single sign to retrieve integrated data, allowing them to provide appraisals and pricing based on the market value, automate the merchandising of their websites, utilize the intelligent VIN-specific advertising engine, and they leverage a vehicle buying center to buy cars from the public. Now, independent and franchise dealers alike are increasing profit and improving turn while outperforming their market. So what are you waiting for? Get a hold of VinQ.com today. So we're back to talking about what you need to do to be comfortable about being uncomfortable. Change is really not a bad thing. If the person that's coming in changing things knows what they're doing, knows the end result, and can show the people inside the dealership that change is very, very beneficial. There's a lot of people out there that don't want change because A, they're doing something wrong, B, they are being shady, and C, they just don't like to be told what to do. Well, with those kind of people, you got to make a decision, right? Let's take a BDC for an example, or an internet department. If you got people that are internet salespeople, now they take all the leads and the phone calls, and let's say they all have access to pick and choose what kind of leads that they want. They put their hand in the cookie jar and they're just taking, right? There's no structure. There's no accountability. They're just grabbing. It's like Halloween when you're going knocking on people's doors. And you're like, trick or treat, nobody answers the door, but there's a bucket of candy right by the door. Now, people usually could just pick one or two pieces of candy, but do they really? Some of them may pick just a little bit of the candy, one or two pieces. But then you got that greedy little kid, that snotty little kid that just nobody's around. I'm going to sneak. I'm going to grab 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces of candy. Now, if you're in a dealership and you're an internet sales manager or internet sales rep, and you're putting your hands in the cookie jar, and you're just grabbing, just to grab, because you're thinking the law of averages, more equals more. The more leads I can get, the more money I can make. But are you working those leads continuously? Are you working those leads right? Other things. You may have all these overdue tasks that you have not touched. You have not touched. You're looking for that cupcake. You're looking for that deal that is just a lay down. So you're filtering through the leads. No structure, no accountability, just greediness. And then all of a sudden, some new person comes in. An internet director, a BDC director, an internet coordinator, whatever, comes in and goes, what the heck is going on? What is all these people doing? Why is everybody hand in the cookie jar? They're not even leaving crumbs. They're just sticking their hand in the cookie jar. And then he cuts everything off. Now those leads will be assigned to certain individuals that do what they're asked to do. They do their follow-ups. Now, if you have a CRM that you're not getting recorded phone calls, I highly suggest, if you're handing leads out and your internet team is supposed to be following up with your customers and you don't have a system where you can listen to the phone calls, then you got to have a phone call, you have to have a text message, and you got to have an email. It's just plain and simple. You as an internet director, you as a BDC director or whatever, have to hold these guys accountable and make sure they're doing what they are supposed to do inside that department, following up with your customers. Newsflash for you salespeople. These are really not your customers. These are the dealership's customers. These are the owner's customers. And if you're thinking that this is yours and that and there, no. Because in all reality, you didn't pay for those leads. If you did, and you're just letting them go because they're hard to deal with, typically a dealership spends $500 to $600 to get people to go to their website. And if you're just picking and choosing and filtering through and looking for the easy ones, the cupcakes, and you're not following through correctly, there's a problem. And you're the problem. So you got to be doing what is right. Managers, BDC directors, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing and holding your people accountable, you're just as guilty. You're just as guilty. So what I highly suggest is, people, if you're comfortable in what you're doing and a new director comes in and changes the whole thing, put trust in them. Put trust that they know what they're doing. If you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do, following up with your customers, doing what you're supposed to do, touching base, and still can't get anything done, don't worry. If you've done everything that you're supposed to do, I'm sure they're going to take care of you. I'm sure that they're going to give you another lead. But you don't need to have your whole hand in the cookie jar. Other managers, if a new sheriff comes in the BDC and changes the policies and procedures when it comes to how the internet is ran, please, 100% be on board. Be on board. Watch and take care and back your BDC director, your internet manager. That internet manager is trying to bring business in, trying to bring traffic inside your dealership. They're trying to do what is needed to bring more traffic in so you guys can sell cars, make profit, and have a great living. But all this uncomfortableness and all this talking and bitching and moaning and complaining about things that are going on and the new changes and how uncomfortable it is and nag. I was the kind of person, if I didn't know what I was doing and somebody comes in and changes the whole process and it's going to make me more money, I would keep my mouth shut and learn. I would listen, I would learn, and I would do whatever is possible. Someone said, hey, listen, you don't know everything, but I promise you, if you do exactly what I tell you to do, you'll make X amount of more money. But if you continue doing what you're doing, the old ways, the old process, you're not going to make no money. I promise you. Guys, I've ran BDC departments. I've ran finance departments. I've ran dealerships. I know how the process goes. I know how when a new person comes in, everybody starts getting worried. The good thing is, don't get worried. Be willing to learn. ABL, always be learning. When you're making your phone calls, ABC, it don't mean always be closing. ABC means always be connecting. Connect with your customers. Stop complaining about all these leads you're not getting and start focusing on the leads that you did have, that was given to you, that you had your hand in the cookie jar and you're grabbing all these cookies like Cookie Monster, blah, 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 blah. And start focusing on. It's not going to be easy. You're not always going to get a lay down. You're not always going to be able to have all these lay down customers. I want this vehicle at this payment, and if you can get it done, boom. No, you've got to work for it. And if you're not on board, maybe you should just be on the floor. Maybe you should be a floor salesman, because it takes a lot of integrity. It takes a lot of patience to be inside an internet department. I promise you, it's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. You've got to be on board. You got to be on board. I promise you, if you do what you're asked to do by the BDC director or the internet manager, things are going to get a lot easier.
As the only effective vehicle valuation-based CRM focused on private party acquisition, the VBC gives you the power to create a new profit center within your dealership, dedicated to buying the right cars at the right price, customized to fit your specific buying needs, resulting in a 6x to 10x ROI. Whether inbound, outbound, or third-party leads, the VBC combines those opportunities into a single view, empowering you with the most comprehensive data to make the right buying decisions. Centralize all private party marketplaces you buy from in one location, including Facebook, Cars.com, AutoTrader, CarGurus, Craigslist, and more. From point of acquisition to point of sale, our modern next-gen platform supports your dealership every step of the way, putting you in the driver's seat to stock smarter, turn faster, compete stronger, and above all else, maximize profits. By
You're watching the #1 automotive podcast, Automotive Architect Podcast with Ron Garverick. My name's Charles Higgins, and I work with Pinnacle Online Marketing, where they've helped me take my business to a whole new level through automated marketing on social media and automated lead nurturing. If you'd like to learn more, visit me online at pinnacle.drivewithcharles.com. Now let's get back to the show.
All right, we're back on the show. Like I said, this episode is brought to you by the fine folks at VinQ. VinQ developed a modern platform that provides vehicle life cycle management for automotive retail dealers. Dealers access VinQ with a single sign to retrieve integrated data, allowing them to provide the appraisals and the pricing based on market value. Check out VinQ for more. And our fine folks at Connect AI. Connect AI bridges the gap between tech tools and automotive communications. Check out connecti.com today. Also, Dealer Elite, the fine folks over there. Arnold, we love you guys. Thanks for always supporting me. The Dealer Elite, engage with the best and brightest in the industry. Check out dealerelite.net. That's dealerelite.net. The fine folks over there with Arnold to Jerry, man, he is such a great supporter of the Automotive Architect Sales Podcast, as well as Danny and Angela with VinQ, and of course Jared Kilway with Connect AI. Now, guys, I'm doing my podcast on my cell phone for right now because my studio is actually being built as we speak. So once I get my new studio up, I'll be doing all my podcasts on my cell phone. But here's the best kicker. With the new studio being built for the podcast live at Connect AI Studios, I will start bringing more guests on, more elite guests. Guests like Glenn Lundy, guests like Frank Lopes, guests like Damian Boudreaux, Shaka Dyson, Ale Rada, all the fine folks that is in the automotive industry. Brian Kramer, can't forget that guy. Love him. Danny with VinQ. There's so many great people that I want to put on the show, but I don't want to put them on the show until the studio is completely rebuilt at Connect AI Studio. So from now, we'll just do some podcasts like this. Once the studio's up, you won't have my kitchen with my pots and pans in the background, but it will be a live studio. You're going to love it. Hopefully, I can start getting guests coming in, and they'll be on the show live in front of you, in front of me, to do these shows. But back to the show. Let's start being uncomfortable. We got to be, there's things that you always have to be uncomfortable in everything that you do in life. You're not human if you're always comfortable. Always being comfortable just makes you lazy. Always being comfortable and not being a risk taker just makes you scared. How are you supposed to get to the next level in your life if you're always settling on being comfortable? Things that I do that I do in my automotive career, I've done it uncomfortable, but I learned to adapt. I learned to, if it's supposed to get me to the next level in my career, in my journey in the automotive space, I'd rather be uncomfortable and know what the end result's going to be, and know what the sacrifice is going to be, and know what I need to do to get to that place, than be comfortable and settle for what I know I'm worth more. You're worth more if you start being uncomfortable and do exactly the right things to get to the right place that you belong. So if you're uncomfortable about how new changes are happening inside your department, inside your store, if a new GM comes in and starts changing the old ways, if a new dealer comes in, buys your dealership and says, this is how it's going to be now, it's not because of dictatorship. It's because they've done it before at the previous place they were at, and they were successful. They were successful in what they were doing. They brought results. Right now, you're making excuses on the numbers that you're bringing, and maybe you're good with it, but you're making excuses. And when you run out of excuses, you start seeing results, and then you'll find out the reason why it's happening. Boom, baby. So what are you going to do? You're going to settle for being comfortable, or are you able to say, you know what? It's time for a change. It's time to get to the next level. It's time to change my mindset. It's time to start doing things out of inspiration and not out of desperation. Trust me, folks. I believe in you. I believe in what you do. I believe in where you're going. I believe that you can make it happen. Trust me. So, do me a favor. Let's start being uncomfortable about being comfortable and get to the next level. What can you say? Check me out. YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or X. Check me out on my website, www.theautomotivearchitect.com. Check me out on all social media. If you need to reach me, you know how to get a hold of me. Let's make this happen. Let's get to the next level. Let's make it happen. Love you all. If you have any questions, DM me. Peace out. Let's go.